All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts and let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, before I start this video, you know what? I'm not going to give the disclaimer. I'm a Giants fan, and you know what? The Giants have been so horrible and so bad. I shouldn't have the disclaimer, oh, I hate Philly, I hate the Eagles and stuff like that. No, the Giants make me hate them right now. The Giants put on a horrible product out there, so I don't care about being the Giants fan. I'm going to speak truthfully about the Eagles, specifically about Jalen Hurts. Now, everybody knows, go look at my channel. I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan. That's one of my guilty pleasures as a Giants fan, as a sports fan. And Jalen Hurts deserves respect. He deserves respect this season. I'm going to tell you why. No one's talking about this. Now, we all know Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Can we talk about the fact how Jalen Hurts is carrying the Philadelphia Eagles like how Patrick Mahomes carries the Kansas City Chiefs? If you don't believe me, anybody who's watched Eagles games, which I watched the majority of Eagles games this year, the Eagles, and before I start this, shout out to my boy, NFL Productions, Where You Hiding, Just a Kid Editing, Cozy TV, Cozy Clyde's TV. Shout out to there's a new Eagles subscriber, Jalen something. I'm forgetting his name, but I have a lot of Philly fans on my channel, and I think they would agree to this. The Eagles defense is beyond, is not doing their job. It's not doing their job. For some reason, the Eagles defense cannot get stops. They cannot get stops. Like, you gave up 30 points to Washington. He gave up, 20 to the Vikings? Like, for some reason, the Eagles cannot get stops. I don't know how much the Rams scored on you last week, but the Eagles cannot get stops. And as Peyton Manning said it, if your defense is doing bad, the greatest defense is more offense, is a better offense, is a greater offense. And that's what Jalen Hurts does. Now, we can sit here and talk about how Jalen Hurts, he has A.J. Brown. Of course he's going to be good. He has A.J. Brown, one of the best receivers in the league. I'm sorry. Can we stop with this whole weapon stuff? It doesn't matter how many weapons you put around a quarterback. If he's garbage, he's garbage. Prime example, Jimmy G had weapons in San Francisco. I mean, yeah, he went to the Super Bowl, but everybody considers him garbage. Alex Smith, before Patrick Mahomes got there, had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill with Kareem Hunt in the backfield. He was garbage. Didn't win a single playoff game. Quarterbacks make weapons. Weapons do not make quarterbacks. Well, I shouldn't say that. I really shouldn't say that. I should say weapons help quarterbacks who are good already. If you have a good quarterback and you give him some weapons, then he'll be even better. He'll take his level to the next up. If you have a trash quarterback and you have all these great weapons, he's still going to be trash. A la Blake Bortles with Jacksonville. I love Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield had Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, and Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb only made it to one playoff series. Got a playoff win, but that's it. So miss me with all Jalen Hurts has the best wide receiver core in the NFL. Okay, great. So whose fault is that? That's Jalen Hurts' fault that his GM actually cares about him? I wish I had a GM that did that for my quarterback and my team, but that's besides the point. But let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about the fact that, yes, the Eagles defense is not playing as well. They have all these big names like Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, even though he's balling. Good pickup for the Eagles. Bradbury, Darius Slay, who've been getting injured, not been doing anything. The Eagles defense has not been doing that good. And Jalen Hurts still go out there and puts up numbers. And people sit here and say, well, the Eagles don't look as dominant as they did last year. Of course they don't. It's the NFL. Can you name me one team that looked the same from the year prior to the same year after that? This is the NFL. Of course they don't look the same as last year. But at the same time, they win games. They know how to win games. And honestly, and I even said this before, go look at my old videos. Jalen Hurts is starting to find his own with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. He's putting up 200. He's putting up 250 to 300 yards, 2 to 3 touchdowns. Does he look as dominant as he did last year? No, but at the same time, last year they had more film on him. Last year, he kind of came up on the NFL and said no one was talking about Jalen Hurts last year. No one cared about the Eagles last year, but now everybody's like, okay, Eagles, you were in the Super Bowl and you went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and only lost by 3 points. Jalen, we have our eyes on you. And they're 5-1 right now. 5-1 right now. Jalen Hurts putting up phenomenal numbers. And A.J. Brown, his A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith connection is beyond amazing. And by the way, he's carrying a horrible offense, or that guy out there in Cincinnati is not carrying a horrible offense. But I'm not going to say nothing. But I also wanted to talk about this too, man. Shout out to all my 49ers, all my 49ers subscribers out there. I'm going to be dropping a video on the 49ers. Listen, people say, ask me, who do you think the best team in the NFC is? And I always say the Eagles. And everybody says, how can you not say the 49ers? Number one, I don't want to ruin my video that I'm going to do on the 49ers. But I just want to say this. The 49ers probably point-wise and blowout-wise and game-wise are probably statistically better than the Eagles, yes. But I just have a question. It's something about the 49ers I don't trust. And the main thing I don't trust about the 49ers, and this is one of my main points in the video I'm going to make on the 49ers. I'm not going to give away all my points. I need to see them come back from behind. The one thing I respect and love about Jalen Hurts is that he's came from behind this season. He's winning close, tough games. That's what you're going to need to do in the playoffs. We can sit here and bash the Eagles record, but I promise you, anybody who's not an Eagles fan, including myself, would kill to have a 5-1 record, a 5-0 record right now. Despite how we're winning it, whether it's in blowouts or in close games. The Eagles right now are, first of all, I think Jalen Hurts had to come to his own and get back in football shape, which he looks in phenomenal football shape right now. Dude had like 303 yards, 3 touchdowns. And his A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith connection is amazing. But at the same time, honestly, these games are preparing them for the playoffs. Because when you're playing the Cowboys, when you're playing the 49ers, if you're in the Super Bowl, when you're playing the Chiefs, when you're playing the Bills, if you play the Dolphins, you're going to have to win those close games, especially if your defense is giving up a lot of points as the Eagles is. And that's why I say the Eagles are probably the best team in the NFC. Best team in the NFL, I mean, they're definitely top 5. Definitely top 5. I mean, that defense, because you got to consider defense. And I'm sorry, Philly. You guys have a lot of names on your defense. Like I said, Bradbury, Darius Slay, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, who's balling. I feel like I'm forgetting a lot of other people. But at the same time, they're giving up a lot of points. Now, I know Fletcher Cox just got injured and wasn't playing the Rams game, and that's going to be a huge blow to your defense. But you guys got to figure something out. But you know what? One thing I can say about the Eagles is that they're a good organization. They might make a trade. I mean, offense, they're perfectly fine. Offense, they're fine. Best offensive line in the league. Best wide receiver core. Tight end that can make stuff work. Swift in the backfield. So offense is good. Don't be shocked that the Eagles make a trade for, defensive end or, linebacker or something like that. I can't even think of anybody off the top of my head who they would trade for. Trying to think of a defensive. I can't think of a defensive end. Maybe Brian Burns from the Panthers, since the Panthers are trying to tank. But at the same time, man, give Jalen Hurts his credit. Give Jalen Hurts his credit. He is carrying this team despite their defense. And honestly, by the way, let's talk about the fact that Jalen Hurts has a new offensive coordinator. That's why he doesn't look as good as he did last year. Because at least for the offensive coordinator he had last year, he had him for at least, 2-3 years? This is a brand new coordinator, and it seems like he's getting his feet under him, and he's fitting his own. But you know what? Hey, man, listen, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts, man. Jalen Hurts deserves respect for this season. Because honestly, he's carrying with all the film on him, with a new offensive coordinator, defense not doing good, everybody looking at them, has them circled for the schedule. He's still winning games and winning close games. That's my thoughts, man. What are yours? RJ out.